Doctor who sexually abused hundreds of children sentenced to 20 years in prison. Joel L. E. Skornik, a 73-year-old former surgeon, has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for sexually assaulting nearly 300 patients, most of whom were under 15 years old. The youngest victim was just 4 years old. L. E. Skornik, described as France's worst pedophile, exploited his patients' vulnerability, often targeting them while they were under anesthesia or recovering from surgery. Prosecutors said he kept a diary detailing his horrific crimes and referred to himself as a proud pedophile, although he later claimed these writings were just fantasies. On Wednesday, L. E. Skornik showed no emotion as jury at the Morbihan Criminal Court, in Brittany, found him guilty of 111 rapes and 189 sexual assaults. According to The Sun, presiding judge Odebora Copyright S.I., in turn, sentenced Skornik to 20 years in prison with a minimum 2-year term without the possibility of parole to prevent reoffending. Skornik's crimes occurred between 1989 and 2014, spanning over 25 years. Some alleged offenses couldn't be prosecuted due to the statute of limitations. During the 3-month trial, the court revealed the horrific details of L. E. Skornik's abuse, which primarily occurred while patients were under anesthesia or slowly regaining consciousness after surgery. L. E. Skornik, a former surgeon, was found guilty of 111 rapes and 189 sexual assaults against 299 children, mostly under anesthesia or sedated. Nanan Thomas Delaby, a barrister representing one of his victims, told L. E. Skornik he is the worst mass pedophile who ever lived and an atomic bomb of pedophilia. Your victims will never forgive you. Speaking just before the verdict, L. E. Skornik said, I'm not asking the court for leniency. Simply grant me the right to become a better person. L. E. Skornik claimed that his abuse led to the deaths of at least 2 of his victims. I am responsible for the deaths of Mathis Vinet, who died after an overdose in 2021, and Alan Rue, who was found hanged at his home in 2020, he said. Prosecutors who had heard L. E. Skornik described as France's worst ever pedophile said he was a devil and there was a very high risk of him reoffending if ever allowed out of his cell. Prosecutor Kellenberger requested the maximum 20-year sentence for L. E. Skornik, citing the need for additional security measures due to the ongoing danger he poses. The Sun reported. The former surgeon is already serving 15 years behind bars after he was found guilty in 2020 of raping and sexually assaulting 4 young girls. 2 of these victims were his nieces, 1 was his neighbor, and the 4th was a former patient of his. L. E. Skornik's crimes came to light in 2017 when a 6-year-old neighbor reported being raped, leading to his arrest. He had stopped working at the hospital by then. After his 2017 arrest, investigators made shocking discoveries at his home, including a repulsive diary where he detailed sexual acts with children. The monster doctor described himself as an exhibitionist, voyeur, sadist, masochist, scatologist, fetishist, pedophile. On his birthday every year, L. E. Skornik would record his age and write a vile message to himself. He wrote, I am a pedophile and I am proud of it. His crimes were described in his diaries in great detail and without an ounce of regret or empathy. He also included the children's names, the date he allegedly abused them, and where it happened. L. E. Skornik denied that these words were a reality and claimed they were just his sick fantasies. Nanan police also found horrifying child-sized sex dolls, some of them chained up, and over 300,000 child abuse images were discovered. Various victims called for L. E. Skornik's ex-wife to be prosecuted too. Marie-Caroline Arrighi, a spokesman for 4 victims, said outside court she knew Marie-France L. E. Skornik knew and protected her husband. Calling the couple evil, Ms. Arrighi added reporting sexual crimes and offenses against minors is a legal obligation. Ms. L. E. Skornik, the mother of his 3 sons, lived with him throughout that time and has always denied knowing what he was doing. Patrick L. E. Skornik, the defendant's 70-year-old brother, testified that Marie-France, the defendant's wife, could have exposed his crimes earlier. He implied she was complicit in covering up the abuse. Victims have accused Marie-France of enabling the defendant's actions for years. Ms. L. E. Skornik said, I wondered how I could have not noticed anything. It's a terrible betrayal that he committed against me and my children. Swipe left for next video. Meanwhile, victims of L. E. Skornik expressed disappointment that the 20-year sentence was too lenient, given the large number of victims affected. Lawyer Francesca Satta advocated for changing the law to allow for longer sentences, stating that 20 years was insufficient for the severity of the crimes. Latest blogs.